नमस्कार मित्रांनो, आज आपण मॅथमॅटिक्स पार्ट 2 या पुस्तकातील पहिल्या चॅप्टरला सुरुवात करणार आहोत. फर्स्ट चॅप्टर इन आवर सेकंड पेपर इज डिफरेंशिएशन. वी have studied the introductory part of differentiation in 11th standard. In 12th standard, we have to study the following points under this differentiation. First point is derivatives of composite functions. Second point is geometrical meaning of derivative. Third point is derivatives of inverse functions. Then logarithmic differentiation, derivatives of implicit functions, and derivatives of parametric functions. So these are the subunits in this chapter. We begin our study with the definition of derivative. The derivative of f of x with respect to x at x is equal to a is given by f dash a is equal to limit h tends to 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a upon h. So derivative of function f of x at point x is equal to a in its domain is given by this formula. If this limit exists, then it is called the derivative of function f of x at x is equal to a, and we denote it by f dash a. Similarly, we can define derivative of the function at any point in an open interval. The derivative can also be defined for f of x at any point x in an open interval as f dash x is equal to limit h tends to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x upon h. So what is difference? In previous this one here, this is f dash a means derivative at particular point x is equal to a, and this is derivative of the function at any point x in an open interval. If the function is given by y is equal to f of x, then its derivative is written as dy by dx is equal to f dash x. So these are two notation, dy by dx and f dash x, which are used for denoting derivative. For a differentiable function y is equal to f of x. For a differentiable function means what? A function whose derivative exists is called differentiable function. Function whose derivative exists is called a differentiable function. For a differentiable function y is equal to f of x, if delta x is a small increment in x and delta y is the corresponding increment in y, then this limit delta x tends to 0 of delta y upon delta x is equal to dy by dx. So this is just change in the notation. This is also definition, modified definition of dy by dx. This ratio delta y upon delta x is called incrementary ratio. Delta x is called increment in x and delta y is corresponding increment in y. And if we take limit of the ratio delta y upon delta x, and if this limit exists, it is called the derivative of y with respect to x. Now in theorems we use this notation, this definition. And while finding derivative of functions by first principle, we use the previous notation. Which one? This f of x plus h minus f of x upon h and h tends to 0. We use this form of definition for finding derivatives of function by using first principle. And while proving theorems, we use this new definition. For example, if y is equal to sin x, then dy by dx is equal to cos x. So here we denote derivative of function sin x. Function is sin x and its derivative is cos x. We denote it by dy by dx is equal to cos x. Now rules of differentiation. We have studied these rules in 11th standard. We have practiced them. If u and v are differentiable functions of x such that y is equal to u plus v, then dy by dx is equal to du by dx plus dv by dx. We call this as addition rule. Similarly, we have a subtraction rule. Next one is product. If y is equal to u into v, then dy by dx is equal to u into dv by dx plus v into du by dx. This is called product rule or multiplication rule. So if we have to take the derivative of product of two functions, this rule says keep first function u as it is, differentiate the second function v, then keep second function v as it is, differentiate the first function and add the two results. Next one is quotient rule. If y is equal to u upon v, if y is equal to u upon v, it is the ratio quotient, then dy by dx is equal to phi du by dx minus u dv by dx upon phi square. We have studied these rules in 11th standard and we have practiced them. Then we have a theorem. This theorem is called theorem of composite functions, derivative of composite functions. Let us read the statement of the theorem. If y is equal to f of u is a differentiable function of u, y is equal to f of u is a differentiable function of u, and u is equal to g of x is a differentiable function of x, such that the composite function y is equal to f of g of x is a differentiable function of x, then dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. So if y is a function of u, u is a function of x, derivative of y with respect to u means dy by du exists, derivative of u with respect to x means du by dx exists, then we can prove that y is a differentiable function of x and dy by dx is given by this formula. Let us read the proof of this result. Given that y is equal to f of u and u is equal to g of x, we assume that u is not a constant function. Why? Because if u is a constant function, then its derivative will be 0 and product will reduce to 0. So let u be not a constant function. Let there be a small increment in the value of x, say delta x. We allow this x to change through small amount delta x. Now as u is a function of x, when there is a change in x, automatically there will be a change in u. And y is a function of u. When u changes, y also changes. So let us denote corresponding changes by delta u and delta y. Next line, let delta u and delta y be the corresponding increments in u and y respectively. Now let us look at this ratio delta y upon delta x. Look at the ratio delta y upon delta x. This is the ratio of two non-zero quantities. This is the ratio, simply ratio. Delta y, delta x are increments, they are numbers. So I have written their ratio. I can write this ratio as delta y upon delta u into delta u upon delta x. Just multiply and divide by delta u. So we have this delta y upon delta x is equal to delta y upon delta u into delta u upon delta x. Taking limit as delta x tends to 0 on both sides. We take limits of both sides and we get limit delta y upon delta x is equal to limit delta y upon delta u into limit delta x tends to 0 of delta u upon delta x. So everywhere we have that delta x tends to 0. Now here next line reads, as delta x tends to 0, delta u also tends to 0. Now I have given here justification, explanation why delta u tends to 0 as delta x tends to 0. Means when increment in x is a small, corresponding increment in u is also small. So let me read this. Limit delta x tends to 0 of delta u. I want to show that this limit is 0. I have multiplied and divided by delta x. So we rewrite this as limit delta x tends to 0 of delta u upon delta x into delta x. Just multiply, divide and multiply. Then take separate limits, limit of delta u upon delta x and limit of delta x, and delta x tends to 0. Now limit of delta u upon delta x is du by dx. So in the next line it should be du by dx, because u is differentiable function of x, du by dx into limit delta x tends to 0 of delta x is 0. So du by dx into 0 is equal to 0. Second last step is unnecessary step. Second last step in this explanation is unnecessary. It should be du by dx, and this proves that delta u tends to 0 or limit of delta u is 0 when delta x tends to 0. Now let us come to our point from where we had shifted here. Limit delta x tends to 0 of delta y upon delta x is equal to limit delta u tends to 0 delta y upon delta u into limit delta x tends to 0 of delta u upon delta x. Have you noticed this point that here delta u tends to 0, delta u tends to 0 of delta u upon delta x. Now y is a differentiable function of u. Y is differentiable function of u, therefore limit delta u tends to 0 of delta y upon delta u is equal to dy by du. And u is a differentiable function of x, as u is a differentiable function of x. Therefore limit delta x tends to 0 of delta u upon delta x is equal to du by dx. So if we use these two things in equation 1, then equation 1 becomes limit delta x tends to 0 of delta y upon delta x is equal to dy by du into du by dx. Now right hand side exists, limits in right hand side exist, therefore limit in left hand side must exist, and therefore y is differentiable function of x and dy by dx. We can write this limit in the left side as dy by dx, and therefore we have dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. So this is called chain rule. This rule is called a chain rule. Now we have one remark on this rule. Remark reads, if y is equal to f of phi, means y is a function of phi. If y is equal to f of phi is differentiable function of phi, and phi is equal to g of u is a differentiable function of u, and u is equal to h of x is a differentiable function of x. So here there are three functions, f, g and h. F is a function of g, g is a function of h. Then dy by dx is equal to dy by dv into dv by du into du by dx. We'll study, we'll practice this rule, product rule with the help of examples. In the next example, if y is equal to sine of log of 2x cube. So if 2x cube, here 2x cube is a function of x, log of 2x cube is a function of 2x cube, and sine of log of 2x cube, so it is a function of log of 2x cube. So here there are three functions. Let us study some examples. Differentiate the following with respect to x. Differentiate the following with respect to x. Y is equal to root x square plus 5. We have to find derivative of square root of x square plus 5. Now here I will give you two methods. First method. In first method we denote this expression under radical sign by u. Expression x square plus 5 denoted by u. So we write y is equal to root u. Here y is a differentiable function of u and u is differentiable function of x. Then we have rule dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. Now y is equal to root u. We differentiate this with respect to u, and we know derivative of root u is 1 upon 2 root u, and u is equal to x square plus 5. So derivative of that x square plus 5, which we denote by dy by du by dx. So this du by dx is equal to 2x. Derivative of x square is 2x, derivative of 5 is 0. Derivative of constant is 0. Now equation 1 becomes dy by dx is equal to dy by du, which is 1 upon 2 root u, into du by dx, which is equal to 2x. Now in place of u we rewrite x square plus 5. In place of u we rewrite x square plus 5. Now method 2. Y is equal to root of x square plus 5. Differentiate with respect to x. Now here we should know the derivative of root x. Derivative of root x is 1 upon 2 root x. What we do? We treat this x square plus 5 as u in mind. We do not write it. Now in this method we do not write label u, letter u. We treat this x square plus 5 as u in mind and use the formula for derivative of root u. Since derivative of root x is 1 upon 2 root x, derivative of root u with respect to u is 1 upon 2 root u. So we write dy by dx is equal to 1 upon 2 root x square plus 5 into derivative of x square plus 5. 5 to take derivative of x square plus 5 because we are calling that x square plus 5 as u, and we are using chain rule here. Now derivative of x square plus 5 is 2x, so just multiply and we get. So this second method is simple as compared to first. In first method we have to write what is u, that du by dx. Here we do the same thing but without writing it. Another example, y is equal to sine log x. Y is equal to sine log x. First method, by denoting that log x by u, we get y is equal to sine u, and we have this rule dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. Now y is equal to sine u. We differentiate it with respect to u and we get dy by du is equal to cos u. Now u is equal to log x. Derivative of log x is 1 upon x. So du by dx is 1 upon x. Now equation 1 becomes dy by dx is equal to cos u into 1 upon x. Now in place of u we rewrite log x and we get answer cos of log x upon x. Next we solve the same problem, sine of log x, by another method. Now in this method we do not write this u, label u. Direct differentiate sine of log x, treating log x as u. Consider log x as u. So derivative of sine u is cos u. So we write cos of log x into derivative of log x. Derivative of log x is 1 upon x. And we get the result. We get the answer. This method is simple as compared to method 1. So in next problem, henceforth we will use method 2, second method only for solving the problems. Third problem is y is equal to e raised to tan x. Differentiate with respect to x by treating tan x as u. So when tan x is u, we have to take derivative of e raised to u. Derivative of e raised to u is e raised to u. So derivative of e raised to tan x is e raised to tan x into derivative of tan x. And we know derivative of tan x is sec square x. So our answer is sec square x into e raised to tan x. Next example is y is equal to log of x raised to 5 plus 4. We differentiate with respect to x by considering this x raised to 5 plus 4 as u. So we have to take derivative of log u. Derivative of log u is 1 upon u. Derivative of log of x raised to 5 plus 4 is 1 upon x raised to 5 plus 4 into derivative of x raised to 5 plus 4. Derivative of x raised to 5 is 5x raised to 4 and 4 is constant, its derivative is 0. So our answer is 5x raised to 4 divided by x raised to 5 plus 4. Next example is y is equal to 5 raised to 3 cos x minus 2. 5 raised to 3 cos x minus 2. So this looks like 5 raised to u. 5 raised to u. Derivative of 5 raised to u is 5 raised to u into log 5. So if we differentiate both sides with respect to x, we get 5 raised to 3 cos x minus 2 into log 5 into derivative of 3 cos x minus 2. And derivative of 3 cos x minus 2 is 3 into derivative of cos x. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x. That's why we get minus sin. And derivative of 2 is 0. So this is our answer. Dy by dx is equal to minus 3 sin x into 5 raised to 3 cos x minus 2 into log 5. We move to next example. Next example is y is equal to square root of sin x cube. It is root u. We treat this as root u. So dy by dx is equal to 1 upon 2 root sin x cube into derivative of sin x cube. Now derivative of sin x cube is cos x cube into derivative of x cube. Again we have used the chain rule, and derivative of x cube is 3x square. So we take all these three terms together and we read our final answer. Dy by dx is equal to 3x square into cos x cube upon 2 root sin x cube. Let us move to next example. Now here I have used the derivative of root x as 1 upon 2 root x. That's why I have mentioned this formula here. Next sum is y is equal to cot square x cube. Cot square x cube. It is cot x cube bracket square. So square function is the last operation, last function. So we treat this as u square. Its derivative is 2u. So 2 cot x cube into derivative of cot x cube. Derivative of cot x cube is minus cosec square x cube into derivative of x cube. Derivative of x cube is 3x square. So we take all these three terms together and get final answer as minus 6x square into cot x cube into cosec square x cube. Let us move to next example. Y is equal to log of cos of x raised to 5. So here three functions. Y is equal to log u. Derivative of log u is 1 upon u. So derivative of log of cos x raised to 5 is 1 upon cos x raised to 5 into derivative of cos x raised to 5. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So derivative of cos x raised to 5 is minus sin x raised to 5 into derivative of x raised to 5. Derivative of x raised to 5 is 5x raised to 4. And we take product of these three terms and we get our answer minus 5x raised to 4 into tan x raised to 5. Now this is our last example in today's lecture. Y is equal to x cube plus 2x minus 3 raised to 4 into x plus cos x raised to 3. So here last operation is product. So we must use the product. We have to use the product rule. Product rule reads derivative of u into v is equal to u into derivative of v plus v into derivative of u. In our problem, there are two functions and their product is given. We have to take derivative of product. So we use product rule. So as per product rule, we keep our first function as it is. So I have kept that x cube plus 2x minus 3 raised to 4 as it is into derivative of x plus cos x raised to 3 plus x plus cos x raised to 3 second function phi as it is into derivative of first function. Now we differentiate them. You can read their derivatives and simplify. Here is the final answer. You can read those intermediate steps and see how the derivative is obtained. So this is how to use the composite function rule. Composite function rule for finding derivatives of composite functions. What is composite function? Function of a function. We have one function of x, and another function is nested with this function. So if such is the case, we have to use the composite function. Now in the next lecture we will see the next article.